about cry. You know, a lot of people out here, they tell us, I know when I was growing up, don't be doing all that crying. You know, it's cry. We were saying crying. Don't be doing all that crying. But I want to let you know that when you cry, it's something really deep that's going on. So I understand now why a lot of people want you to stop. They don't know why they want you to stop from crying, but their reasonings, because crying is very spiritual. How about that? So while we're waiting on this, y'all, please go ahead and share this because I got some great stuff. I know I'm on several different platforms with this, and I hope whichever platform that you're looking at, that you get something out of this because it's something that's going to heal. And I'm going to be talking about crying. Okay, crying is a sign of strength, not weakness. They always say, man, you a punk, you crying. Nah, that's what they see. We've been taught that wrong stuff, but crying is a form of strength. Now, I'm going to be taking this from Enlightened Solutions and another, I'll let you know, and also I'm going to be saying something about this myself because it states here that crying is a body's way to not only reduce emotional stress, but also process it. Think of emotions as an invisible force moving through the body. People tend to think that just because they cannot see or feel feelings when they refuse to feel them, they simply go away. Unfortunately, that's just not true. Okay. Feelings and emotions and all of that and stress, those are the number one killers. And the reason why, because we don't know. So when you go through that, cry. It's best to cry. And I'm going to explain to you why. Even joyful, when you're feeling joyful, the first thing you do is cry. Now, you ever thought about, well, why am I crying? Because I did. You know, when something happened, I'm crying. What in the world? What you crying for? But I'm telling you, spiritually, now I was thinking about this and then I started, going within myself and really meditating on crying. Crying is the most powerful thing on this planet, in this space. Powerful. And a lot of people don't understand that. And so some people know. And what they do, when I say no, I'm talking about back in the day when they were teaching this person teaching that person, teaching that person. It all came to now it is the right thing to do. Cry. And then it states that it's a bad thing to do. Cry. So I'm telling you, it's the right thing to do because when you cry, it gives you that power, that strength. And, you feel like, how a rag, I don't know how the rag feel, but I can just imagine, and imagination is through God. When you twist that rag and that release from all that water comes out, that's a release of stress, feelings, emotion, all of that, because you can see water, but you can't pick it up. You can see it. So the all that stress and all of that is coming through the water. That's it. That is your pain. You can't see it. That is your stress. You can't see it. That is your love. You can't see it. You can't see the love. You can not out here. You can see it on the inside. And that clear, I don't know what color it is, but that clear rain. You see what I'm saying? Because see, when it rains, things grow. Now imagine yourself, and I'm going to do this when it rains, not when it's thundering. I don't know about that yet, but when it rains, I'm just going to sit out there like nothing is happening. Like I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just going to sit out in the rain because I've watched my flowers and plants and stuff grow like boom, just like that. I mean, you could see it grow. I've never seen that in my life. If you sit there and watch the flowers and the crops and whatever you're growing, you'll see it grow just like that right before these eyes. You can see it. And so what would happen if I sit out in the rain? I'm a part of the earth. What would happen? So I'm going to do it. And when I do it, I hope it rained today. When I do it, I'll let y'all know. But when the crying, that's the water that's coming down from the sky, what we call the sky, which is really within, but the image of us can see the sky, but we're really seeing it from within, and we call it blue. But who knows? It's whatever your image, your imagination, which is God, say that it is. So when the water comes down, when you cry, everything grows. So when the water comes down, listen to me now. The water comes down, that's the rain. And we just go outside. So, oh, yeah, it's raining. That's power. Think about it. Because if you go and watch, everything grows. The grass grows so fast. Just cut the grass a couple of days ago. When it rained, boom, the grass grew real quick. So that triggered something inside of me. So when you cry like this, something is growing in this ground. This ground. This. But they don't want us to cry. Stop crying. You just a punk. You cry so much. I've heard that before. But the person that's saying it don't know why they're saying it. That's just something that they learn from other people. I'm telling you, when you cry, it's very spiritual and it's very powerful. So just think of you crying, and you're crying, and the earth is crying. Joy. Because that's what it does. It brings joy to the animals. And they just sit out in the rain. I mean, all the animals. Think about this. They just sit in the rain. We be trying to run. Oh, I got to get out this one. We be running for shelter. But if the cows just sit out there like it's just normal, which it is. But because we've been trained to not do it, we don't know what will happen. Just like grounding. I ground myself. I don't do it all the time, but I ground myself. I have a wire going from the outside stuck in the ground, and it comes up a wire, and it grounds, and I put it to my leg or my toes, and I can feel the power. Try it. I'm telling you, some healing in that. But I just want to let you know that these are the things that can help. It can help you. Just try it. We tried everything else. We tried what people say, and we listen to what people say. Listen to what it's saying inside of you. Because if you're part of the earth, and when it rains out here, things grow just like that. Imagine what will grow inside of you if you sit out in the rain or if you ground. Because little do you know, your house is grounded. Your house is grounded by a piece of wire that's stuck in the ground. Look out, go ask somebody, they'll tell you. Look out, look at your house or your apartment. Somewhere it's grounded because the power of the earth, which is us, okay, that power is very powerful. Now, the social challenges associated with expressing our emotions. Sadly, society has stigmatized the expression of sadness. When someone cries, the common reaction is to make the crying stop. Unknowingly, when someone responds to tears with, shh, stop crying, they're actually saying, stop expressing your emotions through crying. Stop healing. Stop healing. That's what we're saying. So it's not funny, but it's making me uncomfortable, which really says your emotions make people uncomfortable, which eventually translate to feelings are bad. It's a tough situation trying to feel. Coincidentally, it is not the comfort, tears, or sympathy of another person which alleviates the emotions behind crying. High percentage of people feel a sense of relief after crying. So crying is healing. So the next time you tell somebody, stop crying, you telling them, stop healing. God, you heal too much. That's what we're doing. So crying is great, is healing power from the Creator from within you. That's why it rains. That's the rain they're talking about. The rain. Man, y'all better get this. The rain. So if you're listening, the next time you shed some tears, watch how you feel afterwards. You're going to feel like, whew. But you got to pay attention because we cry and then they tell you to stop and we stop. But we never focus on that. Focus on it. Focus on the crying because that's your healing. Understand the complex importance of grief and other emotions. Crying is a sign of strength because it demonstrates of a completely comfortable relationship with the self. Choosing to cry and feel is a choice in the interest of one's emotional health. Choosing to cry is also choosing not to care about the opinions of others. Stop caring what the people say. You know, if something happened to me, I'm crying. I don't care who looking, who listening, because when you cry, most people say, "Oh, they don't. What's wrong?" So it's nothing wrong. You're releasing. You're releasing all the stress that you can't see. You're releasing all the stuff that people have said about you that you can't see. You, but that tears, that is the stress. All of that is just coming out, and it's clear. Clear. You can see right through those tears because it's nothing. So that's just a release for you. So I'm telling you again, if you're crying, cry. I mean to cry too, because you healing. We looking for healing, and the healing is in crying. That's the healing. I'm telling you, man, do it and watch what happens. Just try it, especially in recovery, which peers are struggling to connect with, articulate, and express their own emotions. Seeing someone freeing express themselves is inspiring. Not only will they learn from the act of crying, but they will see the transformation that takes place from working through emotions. That's how you get through it. You cry. You know, everybody, oh yeah, you'll get through it, but you never cried. So you never get through it. You will never heal if you don't cry. Just like the flowers won't grow if it don't rain. Because if you notice, when you put the water that we have out there, it'll grow, but it's going to take forever. But as soon as that rain come through, everything going up. Because really, I think, this is me talking now, I think that the water that we give, yeah, fine. You know, it keeps you, you're still thirsty. But when that rain come, those flowers, and the trees, man, who water trees? Come on now. Have you ever seen, I don't know why we think that we got to water things. Who water the trees? Who give the trees the oxygen? The rain. The rain. The rain does it. Okay, the rain, because I have a tree that I plant, a pear tree. I think it's a pear tree, but it's growing. But, I was going out there watering it. And then sometimes I forget because it's all the way in the back. And sometimes I forget, which all of us forget. But who waters it? Who grounds it? The power, that power of what we call God that is within us. I know this kind of like people don't want to hear this kind of stuff, but this is for you and me. We want to hear the dropping it down and the booty shaking and somebody then hit somebody and slap somebody across the head and they fighting and we want to film that. Okay. Even the lights agree. They just flickered. But I'm telling you, this is something that we all must do. We're going to go through it. We're going to get to this point. It's just, if you want to get to it, just do it now. Have heaven right here on earth. The heaven inside, you can have it right here on earth as it is in heaven. Hope y'all didn't miss that. But so understanding the complex, which I said, and why we work through introspections and healings. Feelings allow emotions to be processed, and crying will feel foreign in early recovery. Drugs and alcohol are anesthetizing, numbing the mind as well as the body. Most will admit that part of the allure for abusing drugs and alcohol came with the feeling of not having to feel. Suddenly, dealing with all the emotions which haven't been felt in years can be challenging and triggering. Remember to cry, to feel, and to just let it all out. That's it. It's just letting all that stress out when you cry. So if I had known this when I had the heart attack, I would have cried, but I didn't. So it just, that pressure, just like a pressure cooker. When you put in your grandma, your mama used to put that tight thing on, then all of a sudden I used to go and hit the little things. Didn't know the stuff would blow up in your face. but I used to just hit that thing anyway, just to hear that noise. That's what happens. That's the pressure inside, the stress, love, joy, peace, all that is bogged up inside. And when you love somebody, that's why you love hard, because you don't let that out. You got to do like I remember. If you're looking at this, remember when I told you my grandma used to have that? I used to go, stop doing that, boy. And then I'll sneak up there and that little air come out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Got that little thing at the top with that little clock on it with the pressure cooker. That's what we are, pressure inside. So the next time you go through something, just remember me going. So you're gonna let it out. That's what we have to do. Let it out. Because if you don't, you'll end up with the hard stuff like I did and just then you got to try to make it through all of that, trying to walk again, trying to do all that stuff, getting people to help you. Can't even laugh. You can't do nothing when you have that heart attack. It is like, woo. Okay. Still have pain from it because I didn't know. So I'm telling you, so you won't have to go through it. Because some people don't make it through it. I happen to make it through. So now I'm telling you, now let me get a little spiritual power. Okay, the spiritual power of tears. Now I'm going to be taking this from Ask Angels. If I hypothetically ask you to think of a person who was being really emotional, what kind of characteristics do you think of? Do you get a mental image of someone who is incredibly happy, immensely grateful, amused, or inspired? Probably not. If you're like most people, it is the exact opposite of the spectrum of emotions that comes to the mind. What is that? In our society today, there tends to be an underlying assumption that emotions are negative, and most specifically that crying is a form of weakness, which is not. I'm telling you. And some things that is meant to be hidden, controlled, or suppressed. So sometimes they tell you that because people don't want you to know that. The ones that know, they don't want you to know that you could be healed. I'm not saying it, but some people just don't want you to know that you can cry and be healed. Now you let your mind wander, because I ain't saying nothing. And yet today, tears are commonly seen as a form of weakness, as being childish. I've been told that before, or giving into negativity. Crying is healthy. They don't want you to know that because I ain't saying nothing, but crying is healthy on both an emotional, spiritual, and physical level. Here's an example. Now, this is an example of their life. The first time I really connected with an archangel and Jesus in the channeling space, or this could be about me too, because I've done that. I was so far overwhelmed with the immense love of their presence that although there wasn't a message for me there, I couldn't speak it. See, when you go through connecting with the power, because if you've never seen yourself, then meditate and do it and really do it and get so close to God, and you'll see yourself. You'll see that big, tall, strong person you are from within. And when you see yourself, you'll be able to know, like, I know this. Before I was like, yeah, didn't even listen. But when I saw myself, that tall, strong, I can't say it's white, it's pure, whatever color that is. But I know it's that. And when you see that, I'm telling you, all this stuff makes sense. And so it says my vibration was too low. There was too much pain, energy in my heart. And so while I knew there was a message to share, I opened my mouth to speak, and all that came out was tears. Because really, when you're in the spiritual realm, as I talked about the astro and all that kind of stuff, and from within, when you go from within, all you can do is talk with your thoughts, or you can cry, because the power knows. You don't have to try to explain it, but this is what they did to me, and I don't know. No, just heal. That's it. Heal. That's it. So if you do that, because I remember I was meditating not too long ago, and I just started, like, the tears just start flowing. I can't tell you why until now, because after meditating, everything is explained to you from within, and it's a form of healing. And so at the time, it says here that I was embarrassed and it felt like a failure. I felt like a failure that wasn't at home in a private place. I was in a class and there was about 12 people sitting there waiting to hear me channel, when instead I burst into tears. See, when you channeling, you're going through different channelings inside. And when you get to the full channel and you can't channel, you just cry. And that's what they're talking about. But looking back, the tears were beautiful and they were exactly what I needed. Through my tears, I received power, heart healing from the divine, and the huge validation of the immensely beautiful energy of the angel and Jesus who I had connected with. So if you still out there talking and gossiping and fussing and fighting and doing all that stuff, you haven't really channeled to the power that's within you. You're just going to the form of godliness and denying the power thereof that is within you. So if you, and I'm speaking to a lot of the church people, because it's not that the church helped me. It helped me get to inside of me, because when I went to church, I didn't look at the pastor. I just listened. I listened because I know that whatever the pastor was saying was for him or her. I was just supposed to be led to that. Then I took it upon myself. But a lot of people are out here listening to what the pastor said this, pastor said that. No, the pastor is saying it for himself. But he don't know that you're thinking like that because he's not in your thoughts. But everybody say, oh, that pastor's just a ripoff. No, he's not. He's only doing what he's supposed to do. And then you're supposed to listen and go back to you and start doing what you're supposed to do. But then we get caught up in all of the pastor this. I ain't going to that church. I ain't going. No, you don't go because you're the one that's doing this. The pastor's doing his thing. But what happens, because people are not crying and healing, they're just, some people are just doing this. And it's deeper than that. I've heard pastors say, now, you do it. You go within yourself. I've heard it. But we get so caught up, because I was there too. You get so caught up in the, we forget about everything. That's a form of energy. And that's good, but it's just a form of energy. And so we get caught up in all of that, but really we should be going back home within ourselves, because that's what the church is here. And the church out there is leading you back to you, but you're not going. You sitting up there looking at the pastor like this, listening. What he said, child, he know he preached today and don't even know what he said. Because it's supposed, because I know what he said because I've listened, and he leads you back to you. But that's up to you to decide that. But if you still go through that, then you're going to still going, here we go around in a circle. Remember that song? Ba-dum-dum-bum. Here we fly high like a bird up in the sky. It's going to be continue. You'll just be going in a circle. So I'm telling you, if you go into a church, start listening to what the pastor is saying. Take that and start going within yourself and applying it to you. But we quick to say, now you heard what he said. Then you back out here. You need to go cry, because crying is going to heal you from all of it. I'm telling you, I've done that. I was the one that was in. I don't know why I can't. No, you got to realize that it's you. And once you realize that it's you, then you'll do it. Like I did. I realized it was me. And I still go through things and realize it's me, because everything leads back to me, because it's my choice. And it says here that I cried my eyes out, and with those tears, I let go of so much pain I had been holding in my heart for years. So it's a lot of pain that people are going through. After crying that day, I felt better. I felt lighter and freer. Like a weight had been released from my shoulders. Scientific studies have validated this and show that people do feel better after a good cry. Crying is a powerful way to let go of sadness and anger, past hurt, grief, and wounds. Something somebody did to you 50 years ago, you still mad, and that will get out. Crying is an act of physical and emotional detoxification. Even sweating is good for that. When you sweat, you're getting rid of all that evil and all that toxic waste. Massages is good for that. I'm telling you now, I'm telling you. Think of each tear as a physical representation of sadness and stress that you're now letting go. If you stop yourself from crying and don't use some other technique to release the sadness within it, can and will build up to a point of depression and overwhelming, and you will have a heart attack and you probably will die. That's it. You probably will. And you'll get all kind of diseases and sicknesses. And that's why they don't want you to cry. I'm telling you now, they don't want you to cry. So that's going to heal you. And it will heal you. You'll feel so much better. And then, I mean, that's part of the healing. Now you got to eat right and do things like that, because if you cry and then you go eat stuff that make you sick again, then you're going to cry. And then you're going to eat stuff and make you sick again. And you're going to cry. And then you're going to get into arguments with people. Then you're going to cry. And then, it's just going to be like that. You want to do the things that's within you that's going to help you. And you need to listen to that voice inside of you, which is you, that's going to guide you, which is connected to the power and the force of what we call God, Allah, Buddha, all the powerful, great voices that has been out there to tell us the same thing that I'm telling you now from within me. It goes back to you. And then you got something for me. Because you have to, in order to lead, you got to be a follower too. And so, and what I mean by that, like when people tell me stuff, I'll listen and I say, they right. Because you'll know if you wrong. But the ones that don't know will continue and say, I know, because I know this, that they'll argue back and forth with you. But you got to learn to listen. Just like me. I had people tell me the other day something, and I listened because I knew it was wrong. I had the producer, I had somebody tell me when I was doing my songs in my studio. So I said, well, let me go to this guy and let him do it, because my voice is so strong that I don't know how to work the reasons and Pro Tools and all that. I'm learning, but my voice is so powerful, and it just cracks the frequency. So when I was doing it, they were telling me at the house, okay, you need to bring that out more because you singing too weak, And so I was thinking that my voice too powerful, which it was. So what I had to do is just go until I can work that, and then go to the studio where the guy's producing it, which is James Worthy. And he showed me, because I had to listen. It's not that I know everything. A lot of people think they know everything just because I'm meditating and reading all this stuff and doing good from within. I still don't know everything. And when you realize that you still don't know everything, and you can listen to somebody else who might know a little bit at that time, just for that moment, more than you, then you'll grow. And so I'm saying that because that's what happened to me. So I had to go ahead and just sing the song and stop trying to think that this, I was doing that. And I tell you this because this is what's going to help you. It's just my situation, but I'm sure some situations that you go through that it's the same thing. You don't want to listen to nobody because you know everything. And that's what happened to me the other day. And so I had to sit back and say, okay, well, let me just do this because that's what they're saying. And the song came out good. But had I had just it's all about me and listening to me, then you would have heard the cracks, and I would have filmed it in my studio, all that old craziness. No, you go where you're supposed to go and film and record that. And so that's what happened. But I'm saying that to say that you have to cry. That was a cry. That was a cry out because I wanted it done right, but I wanted to do it in the stuff that I just got. But it don't work like that because it ain't all about me. And if you would know yourself, I'm just telling you, and it doesn't matter that I'm saying it's not all about me because it's not. Why should I get upset and feel bad if somebody tell you it ain't all about you? It's not. And that's good. So I'm saying that to say, if you are like that, then just do like I did. Just listen, be quiet and listen and take it and do what you need to do. Then come back and start leading again. And then if somebody else going to tell you, one of y'all might tell me something that, and I'm going to listen. you know, as long as everything goes according to what's supposed to happen at that particular time, and we're on the same wavelength, then yeah. Now, if you tell me to go hit somebody, I'm not going to listen to that. But you know what I'm saying? If it's something that's good, yeah. If you know, and that's what we have to do. And that's the only way that we're going to heal, if we start crying out and physically crying. Okay, so that's it. Let me finish this real quick. It says here, while you're crying, ask the angels to help you cleanse your energy and release whatever is weighing you down. Let go of whatever it is you've been holding on to. Okay, let it go. Let it go. And that's the name, the song that I just did yesterday is called I Am Free. And when you hear that song, just know it's not coming from me. It's coming from within me. This is a new thing. I'm telling you, this is something that I've done before as far as listening, but right now I've allowed that power to just resonate and just do what it does. I've submitted myself not to what man say. I've submitted myself to what the power of God within says, the spiritual man, because there is a spiritual man inside of you, woman, whatever we want to call it out here, but it's a power, and it's in me and it's in you. Some people are asleep, some people are not. So I'm saying all this so you can wake up. I bet you looked in, look. Woo, look at I'm sweating, boy, because it's coming out. And I really appreciate you all for listening. And please donate. Okay, I know y'all get sick of me saying that, but I'm going to say it because it's going to be for somebody that's listening. Somebody's going to donate. Okay, and I want to get those cameras for those little kids. School is back to school cameras. That's what it is. We're having a back to school camera day. So if you want to be a part of that, please donate. You can PayPal it. They can't talk, but we can at gmail.com. They can't talk, but we can at gmail.com. You can sponsor right here on HAPS or wherever you are, sponsor, because please help me get these cameras for these kids. Just some of them. It could be 2 or 3 cameras. I'm already going to buy one from what they just donated. Pitch Please donated because they won a championship, and they gave the funds to Aaron Hatcher. They can't talk, but we can. So thank you, Myron. I appreciate it. And all the players on Pitch Please, because they saw the need, and they know me. They know I'm not going to, you better not take that money. The IRS going to be coming after you. So the funds are used for that, because that's what I want to do, Special Needs Rock. I want to get these cameras, and these cameras are little pens, as I always say, or a little car or something for the child. So you can say, oh, and then you'll be recording them while they're at school. So they, you know, see what's going on. And it'll be on your little phone, be able to, you ain't got to get the cameras in the classroom. It could be cameras on the body, and that is their own jewelry. And be sitting right there. And parents look on the phone, you know, see, okay, you can hear. Yeah, they got that. So I need your help to help me get at least 2 or 3 of them. So I definitely want to give one to Jessica, because I mean, all the people I know that have special need kids, and then the ones that don't know, email me. Okay, they can't talk, but we can at gmail.com. Let me know. And then once we get the money in, we'll get you one of those little cameras. And for the elderly that's in the nursing homes, because they do that to them too. And they'll have a little nice little flower sitting up there and be recording. And then the parents can, let me check on mom. Go on their little phone and look at it and see what's going on. And you can hear. So help me with that. And I promise you'll start crying, because you're going to cry when I give that to them, and then they see, and I film them, me giving it to them, and you see what you've done, because that's going to help you, and that's going to make you cry too, because you want to see people do good. You don't want people to get beat up and abused, and they can't tell you, and then because they're older, the parents, the kids don't listen to them because they're trying to tell you, but they think mom has whatever that is, but she don't. She telling you the truth. All right. This is Rahn Anthoni. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this, and please give, and always remember to cry, because when you cry, that's your healing. All right.